a 15-year-old girl, disappeared from her own bedroom under mysterious circumstances. The police, FBI, and hundreds of volunteers searched for her. As detectives delved into the case, they uncovered many disturbing facts and eventually solved this alarming case. In this video, we will tell you what happened to Riley Crossman and why the public was outraged when they learned the bitter truth. On May 7, 2019, Riley came home from school at around 3:30 p.m. and saw her mom napping on the couch. Chantel was working 2 jobs to make ends meet, and on that day, she wasn't feeling well, so she left her first job early to get some rest before her evening shift. Later, after seeing her mom off to work, Riley visited her grandmother, returned home, and went upstairs to her room. Chantel came home from her second job at 10:30 p.m. She didn't wake her partner, who was asleep in the living room, checked on the boys in their room on the first floor to make sure Andy had put them to bed, and then went to sleep in the master bedroom, also located on the first floor. She had a splitting headache. Noticing from downstairs that Riley's bedroom door was closed, she assumed Riley was either asleep or chatting on the phone and decided not to disturb her. The morning of Wednesday, May 8, 2019, started off typically. Andy had already left for work. Chantel got the boys up, fed them breakfast, and got herself ready. Before leaving the house, she checked on Riley. Her daughter's room was empty, but that wasn't unusual. Riley, a teenager, often left early to chat with friends before school. Chantel loaded the boys into the car and drove them to school. This was the day that forever changed the life of a mother of many children. By lunchtime, Chantel received a message from the school notifying her that Riley hadn't shown up for classes. She tried calling her daughter, but the automated voice coldly repeated, "The subscriber is unavailable." Chantel left work and rushed home. On the way, she ran into Hayden, Riley's boyfriend. He said that he had just returned from a class trip, hadn't seen Riley today, and she hadn't called him. Chantel hoped that Riley might have had a rebellious idea to skip classes, although she had never done so before. But Riley wasn't at home. The mother called all her daughter's classmates and friends. No one knew where she was or had seen her that day. A check of Riley's social media showed that her last activity was around 11:00 p.m. on May 7th. Chantel's sense of panic grew at an alarming rate. She contacted the police. Local authorities took Riley's disappearance seriously from the start. Both her mother and her father, who had learned of his daughter's disappearance, insisted that Riley would never go somewhere without informing them or letting them know when she would be back. Chantel had divorced her first husband long ago, but maintained a good relationship with him. Riley spent a lot of time with her father and often stayed overnight at his place. The two adored each other. A search of Riley's bedroom confirmed her parents' worst fears. She likely hadn't left the house of her own free will. Among her belongings, they found Riley's glasses and purse, items she never left the house without, and her backpack with school books was also still there. An examination of Riley's bed revealed bloodstains on the sheets and the quilted blanket. Blood splatters were also found on the inside of the bedroom door. DNA analysis confirmed that the blood belonged to Riley Crossman. It seemed likely that the young girl had been abducted, but by whom? The police began their investigation by interviewing people close to Riley Crossman: her mother, father, grandmother, and Andy McCauley. While detectives were checking their alibis, a neighbor of Chantel's came forward. He recalled that on the morning of May 8th, after Chantel had left with her sons, a green truck, similar to the one Andy McCauley drove for work, pulled up to her house. The neighbor couldn't confirm whether Andy was driving because he got busy with his own tasks and didn't see if anyone got out of the truck. When he looked out the window again, the vehicle was already gone. When asked about his whereabouts on May 8, 2019, Andy claimed that he had been at work all day. However, according to his colleagues, McCauley had been absent for at least 5 hours. He arrived at work by 8:00 a.m., which was unusual since he was often late. At 9 a.m., he left in a company truck, saying he needed to take care of an urgent task for his boss and didn't return until 2:00 p.m. The police questioned Andy again. He admitted that he was struggling with substance addiction and had gone to see his dealer. He stated that he last saw Riley on the evening of May 7th, sometime between 9:30 and 10 p.m. She had wished him good night and went upstairs to her room, and he fell asleep shortly after, sleeping through until morning. What happened to her after that, he claimed, was as much a mystery to him as it was to everyone else. Investigators seized McCauley's phone, hoping to track his movements, but were disappointed to find that the device had remained stationary all day. It was unclear whether he had deliberately left the phone at home or simply forgot to take it. However, detectives did find some intriguing information on the device. During the night, at 3:00 a.m., 3:34 a.m., and 3:52 a.m., calls were made from McCauley's phone to Riley's phone. The caller had used the 67 function, which hides the caller's identity. It was also discovered that at 4:15 a.m., Riley attempted to contact her boyfriend, Hayden, via FaceTime, but the young man was asleep at the time. What she wanted to say to him at that hour remains a mystery. Reviewing footage from cameras located along the suburban highways gave detectives a major lead. The Dodge truck that McCauley had driven away from work was spotted climbing a mountain road around 10 a.m. Over 300 searchers, aided by specially trained dogs, scoured the area for the missing teenage girl. On May 16, 2019, the parents' hopes of seeing their daughter alive were shattered. 2 officers discovered her body in the Tuscarora Pike Highlands, wrapped in a bag. Her torn clothing was covered in a white substance that resembled lime. Identical bags and the same substance, along with Riley's blood, had been found earlier during a search of the green Dodge. Andy McCauley was charged with taking Riley Crossman's life and was arrested. Later, based on forensic examination results, McCauley was also charged with assault. In court, McCauley insisted that he was not responsible for Riley's death. He claimed that, as he had previously stated, he had gone to his dealer, used substances, and then went to the mountains to be alone. Chantel admitted that she knew about her partner's addiction to illegal substances and alcohol, but she claimed that he never became aggressive, and she hadn't noticed any unhealthy interest in her daughter from Andy. However, Riley's boyfriend, Hayden, who was called as a witness, testified that Riley had confided in him her fears about McCauley's behavior. She had noticed that at night, he would sometimes quietly open the door to her room, stare at her, and then quickly disappear at the slightest noise. Chantel said that her daughter had not told her about this. Prosecutors believed that in the early morning hours of May 8th, Andy McCauley entered Riley Crossman's bedroom, assaulted her, took her life, and hid her body under the bed, intending to dispose of it in the morning using his work truck. He knew that Riley always left for school early, and her mother wouldn't be concerned if she didn't see her in the morning. The defense attorneys argued that the evidence was circumstantial. McCauley steadfastly denied his guilt, leaving the case's outcome in the hands of the jury. In October 2021, a grand jury found Andy McCauley guilty, and sentenced him to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Chantel and her sons left Berkeley Springs immediately after the sentencing. And that concludes our coverage of this tragic story. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on cases like these. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to share this video with your friends and give it a thumbs up if you found it valuable. Thank you for watching.